Hey, how's everyone doing? So in today's video, I want to talk about recently made or recently released ROM hacks. So by recently released, I'm talking about 2022 ROM hacks within the last month. Now, that being said, I've always mentioned how I'm happy to see these ROM hacks being made and people continuing taking their time to make these. Now, I'm going to try and show different ones other than Pokemon because I know there are plenty of Pokemon ROM hacks and they are all great. But for this video, I'm just going to have one Pokemon ROM hack, and the other three are going to be different games just to show that people are doing other items as well. So without further ado, please like and subscribe to the channel. Everyone is awesome. Thank you guys. And let's get into it. All right, so here we have Kirby Tilt and Tumble. Now this game is a specific game that has a, what is it called? A chronometer that will actually detect when you're moving the cartridge. So this obviously will not work if you're playing it on something like an Easy Flash or a EverDrive, for example. So the whole purpose of this is to, it pretty much removes the chronometer and tricks it to believe that, hey, it's doing it on its own. Essentially, you're controlling it with the D-pad now, which is pretty cool. So for people who maybe just who already has this game and doesn't want to take it with them everywhere, you just dump the game, you apply the patch, and you're good to throw it onto your EverDrive with the rest of your collection. So this is definitely something that's good for people to try out if you ever wanted to try out this game, especially if you're a big fan of Kirby. And that being said, this is a two-part patch. So you'll first need, well, if you want to remove just the Kirby in, for example, you can get rid of this part here. But first, if you wanted to do this, you got to first apply the chronometer removal patch, and then you apply this patch if you just want to get rid of this. Now this is just, looks like this is just strictly a cosmetic. Doesn't seem like, really needs any more after that, since once you apply the first patch, it will still work. So what I want to do now is I'm going to show you how it originally played, and then I'm going to show you how it looks with the patch. That way you guys get an idea. And this will be something cool. And this was recently released as well. Whole purpose of these videos just to show stuff that was last modified on January 9th. So this is definitely recent, and all credit for this goes to Isaac, who did the title screen edit, and what's that? Infest, who did that hacking. Now this is definitely took a lot of work to do right here. So let's see how it looks on the Pocket. All right, so first on my list is going to be Kirby Tilt and Tumble. Now this game has a meter right inside that allows the game to know when you're turning it up, down, left, right. So, and even jumping, you do a quick jump. So this being said, if you have something like an EverDrive or an Easy Flash and you want to play this game and add it to your collection and just throw a whole bunch of games together, you would need to patch this in order to get it to run, since it does not have the chronometer removal. So let's just show you how it looks. Now, as I've mentioned before in the previous clip, they also remove the title. So, and there's a ROM hack going already. I'm gonna put the original on here. That way you can see how it would normally work. So immediately you can tell this gives you what you need to do. You gotta hold it straight, up and down. So I imagine I press A here. Looks like they removed that first part. Yes, so they replace this screen with that screen, which makes sense because you don't need to worry about that anymore. Okay, right away, the title was replaced. They removed Tilt and Tumble and just put Kirby in. Let me just show you a little bit of how it works. All right, so essentially you gotta move up, down. That's essentially how it worked. That's pretty much all you had to do. Now this is a pretty cool game to try out. It definitely makes it a little easier to play now that you can remove the accremeter and not have to worry about the meter itself. So let me show you how it looks here. So now, instead of having to, move all over the place, you use the direction pad. It's pretty straightforward. Left, right. So let's see what else. Yeah, there you go. Interesting. Okay. What does it tell you now? Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So this hack itself allows you to use the D-pad. So if you ever wanted to play this game and you want to add it to your EverDrive collection, this is how you would have to do it. Kind of like the Game Boy Advance Solar Patch for the Buckeye game. It allows you to play it when you don't have the extra accessories that are built into this. So now let's just go on to the next game itself. This one was pretty quick, it was pretty straightforward. So let's go on to the next one. All right, so here is one of the games that I want to talk about today. So we have a Galaga and a Galaxian DX. So here, as you can tell from the screen itself, says a patch. See the patch for this game to make it work with Game Boy Color. So it looks like it's going to add a color for both of the games, and it's going to still work on the Super Game Boy. So like I mentioned previously, this is just stuff that I want to show that's been recently done. I want to show stuff that's done in 2022. And as you can tell, this one was released January 26, 2022. So you're looking at what, maybe less than 10 days ago. So this is definitely something that somebody was actively working on. And the contributor to this is going to be Mojo Dojo. Nice. So yeah, so he did the work on this, and I just want to test it out. And I'm going to show it compared to the original as well and see if you guys can tell the difference, which I obviously will because it's going to be in color. So let's just show how it looks on the Analogue Pocket. All right, just as you saw in the clip, the next one's going to be Galaga and Galaxian. So it's going to be the DX, which means they've added color to it. So let's just start the original on the EverDrive here, the Boxy Pixel, and let's start the hack. Let's see how it looks. Now that being said, this might still show some of it in color. Let's see how it looks side by side. Yeah, you can tell already there's a huge difference. Let's just do Galaga. Yeah, the colors are definitely a nice touch. Yeah, you can tell immediately that they did a lot of work. All right, let's see how it looks. This is the original here. Oh, wow. Yeah, that color makes a big difference. It looks totally different. Now, if you play this game on the Analogue Pocket, if you had it, I think now they just added GBC mode, so you might be able to get some color, but it won't look like this. This would be the best way to play because it will give you some color. Somebody that actually did all the work to show you how it looks. Let's see. If you look closer on this one, you can see the colors better. Definitely did a lot of work to it. It is definitely a lot of work done to this. See if I can go back. Yeah, they took my fighter. Nice. Ah, cool. All right, so now as you can tell, this one has color. This is playing on a Game Boy Advance, so not really the best way to show you how it would look on the Analogue Pocket. It would just be black and white, would be the original one. Let's see if I can show you the original here. Okay, and let's go to the original now. Okay. So this is how it would look. It's black and white. This is how it looked originally. Not as good because this is the Analogue Pocket, but I wonder, let's see if we change this, but then we'd have to restart. So we'll do that a little bit later. Some tools, settings, system. Okay. And so you can change some of the color palettes here. So it doesn't look like the way it does in the Game Boy Advance. Maybe later on you'll be able to do a custom one, which you hardly see here. That will allow you to add the colors much better. This is as close as you're gonna get. But hey, it's so cool to do. So cool to see it in this kind of color. I definitely recommend this, especially if you're a Galaga fan. It's gonna be a must at the end of it. All right. So now let's just move on to the next one. All right, so next up we have Legend of Mana Sword. This is a hack of the Final Fantasy Adventure Game Boy game. So this does a lot of quality of life changes from what I understand. So if you look at the features right here, it'll tell you it has a new title and title screen. The script has been improved, inspired by the original Japanese script. So that's kind of cool. They also added some of the lore from the later games. Looks like they fixed some of the bugs that were in this, which includes the infamous heal bug. They gender swapped the main character. What else did they do? And some other minor bug fixes and tweaks throughout the game itself. So this is fairly straight to the point. They did quality of life changes to what it sounds like, on top of the obvious name change itself too. So this is very interesting. I want to check it out. It looks like it's still gonna be in black and white, which is gonna look beautiful either way. So let's just check out this game and see how it looks. All right, so next up we're gonna do Legend of Mana. Now the original is Final Fantasy Adventure, so let's just check it out side by side. Now they did do some work to the name and change some of the stuff around. We won't spend too much time on it because these RPG games are going to be long games. As you can tell, even look at that, they put the hack date as January 28th, 2022. So this is a very recent hack. Let's just do a new game. Let's see if we see any major differences. Now, they got some of the script from the Japanese, and they also got some of it from the lore of the game itself. So I don't know how much you're gonna see going into it. It might be a while. So far, the biggest thing you will notice is the total name change. So far, this one little part is the same. Very interesting that this was called Final Fantasy Adventure. They later changed the name. Okay, let's see. Yeah, look, so far they got rid of the boy. They put name. Let's just put, can't get with the full name. Okay, so they just put name and they show the, you can't see, you can see right here, they got rid of the sprite there. So let's see, I just did the same thing here. Okay, it says girl, this is name. Just put a whole bunch of A's just to get through this faster. Hit start. Oh look, they added that part there. That was extra text that you didn't see in this one. It just says fight. It reminds me a lot of Zelda. Let's see how it looks on this one now. See if they do any other talking after you win. All right, let's see. Let's see. Let's finish this one. Oh, this one I died. Oh, they're gonna make me start all over again. Just do a bunch of A's. I can't really play both of them at the same time. So let's just do this one real quick. You see, like they just left Now Fight, the original, they added more there. That's cool. Wow, these old games definitely were a little bit harder where they just did that. Especially in the beginning. All right, so let's see what happens now. Say the name was a fighter of the empire. This one says Verde was a captive of a cruel kingdom. Wow, yeah. Okay, so they did do changes. Huh. They changed it. So the text is definitely different. So it looks like they're trying to go base more of the Japanese translation. So if you wanted to play this game and maybe play it more true to what the Japanese version was, this is definitely the game for you, especially if you're a Legends of Mana fan. And this is something that I want to try myself. This looks very interesting. So I think people will have a lot of fun with this stuff. So definitely check it out. Check out the website. You'll be able to find countless hours of gameplay and different stuff. So, all right. And let's just say one more thing before we finish. All right. So here, as you can imagine, I added Pokemon Red Defined. So this seems like in this game is the standard Pokemon Red version, but they've stylized the font, and by they I am talking about a Mr. Zelkin Rush. He's the one who gets credit for all this. I'm just showcasing his work. This was updated January 22nd, 2022, so it's very recent, and it looks like. So let's see what's going on. Let's go through it. So they had updated the Battle Hub change to look busier. The HB bar changes with animation. They've edited the Pokemon front sprites. They use Heart and Gold and Soul Silver sprites from the DS. They made the text box fancier. They did some minor changes to the Pokedex. What else they done? They also said it's compatible with the original Pokemon Red version game saves. That's pretty cool. So if you already have this playing, you can actually do it yourself. You can actually continue your game. Now, an unintended feature, that's funny, was that the AIs are actually better. So it looks like you'll have to stock up on items. It's actually more difficult, essentially. And it also looks like this is still an ongoing project. So this is still very much new, which is cool. That means that there is still a lot of work that he's doing on this, which personally, this is awesome just to see people continue working on this. It keeps things fresh, especially when you have the Analogue Pocket now. You can just continue playing it, and not just the Analogue Pocket. All these things will work on any device that can play a Game Boy Color flash card like the EverDrive or Easy Flash. This will all work there. I can't vouch for how it plays on emulators, such as emulating it from the EverDrive Game Boy Advance. That's a different story. That's a different video for another day, where I do want to go through a lot of these ROM hacks and see how they work on an emulator, because I'm sure that's in people's minds, and I will do other videos regarding ROM hacks for Game Boy Advance. But let's get into it, and let's just show you how it looks on the Pocket. All right, so here we have Pokemon Red Defined. So as I mentioned in the clip, you're going to see some of the script will look a little bit cleaner. So let's just see how it actually looks. Let's start it up. I'm starting the original one on the Boxy Pixel here, and I'm going to start the hacked one on the Analogue Pocket. Now for these hacked ROMs, you'll need something like a flash card to play it on. Just keep that in mind, or an emulator. That being said, I have plans for another video to show how to do your own custom flashcards. That's more if you want to do that, that's up to you guys. I don't mind having actual cards. I do like having physical items. So immediately you can look at the sprite is different. I believe these are the sprites from the DS, Soul Silver and Soul Silver and Heart Gold. So the sprites are immediately different. I wasn't personally happy with how Charmander looked. I think Charmander looked just fine in the original, but let's see how it looks when I start it up. You can tell the text is different. Looks like they tried to do the unknown. Just make it a little bit difficult to read, but you can still make it out. Yeah, that's definitely the DS sprites. Everything else should be fairly similar. Put some music in the back. Yep. Just keep it simple with the name. It's kind of cool to see it in this text, I'm not going to lie. I'm getting used to it. And the creator of this does have more planned. So it'll be cool to see what he's going to have in store in future updates of this ROM hack. Okay, so let's go over here. Now let's see how it looks. You do a battle. Now, I don't know if I'm going to go through the whole thing just to show how it looks for the Pokédex, because that does require a little bit more work. But I would like to see at least make it to the battle portion and just see how it looks when you battle. You go through the whole talking part. But I can see how the text might bother some people. So at least you get to see it here. That way you can decide for yourself. I do like how these colors look. You know, let's see how it looks if I do it red. Settings against system, GB, video, color palettes. More purple then. Okay. Add some color to it. It's a little bit darker than what it would have looked like. You can tell this is how it looks like on a Game Boy Advance. If I can lower the brightness a little bit. No, that's not it. It is lowering the brightness. Okay. All right, there we go. It's a little better. All right. Let's see how the battle screen looks. Just so you can compare it, here is what the start looks like side by side. It did do a lot of work. Now I can only imagine the amount of work it took just to redo all the text. So that is pretty cool. And like they've mentioned already, the AI somehow got stronger. Now here is how it looks, how Charmander looks. Let's just do Charmander. Okay. Let's just see all the text. So that's cool. We did a lot of work there. I'll let him choose his. It's gonna be Squirtle. All right. Here we go. Just see how it looks with the battle. I don't want to wait to go all the way to the next town just to get the Pokédex because that can take some time. All right, that's cool. See, they redid right here. It's cool to see the sprites that they used in the DS game. But it looks like he kept the back of these sprites though. Like he also updated the damage too. So I remember seeing that in the notes. So whenever you attack them, this will go down at the same time. That wasn't always the case. Alright, this is a cool little ROM hack. Like I mentioned before, it was released in January, so this is very recent and seems to be still a ongoing project. So there'll be many more updates for this, as I can gather, to come. This guy, anybody doing this takes a lot of time and effort. So, kudos to them on taking the time to get this done and to get it done right in the way they envision it. So, all right. So let's go on to the next ROM hack. All right. So here we have the Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 2, the third one. So this is a hack of the Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 2. They just added the third one at the end of it. And it looks like they've added 29 new levels. That's crazy. So they increased the game by 29 levels. So this guy, McGregor, he gets all the contributions for this. And this was released on last modified January 8th. The release was January 7th. So that's obviously within this year. It happened 2022. That's pretty cool. And I like to see that people are not just doing Pokemon ROM hacks, even though I know that's a big factor in ROM hacks. It's because you can do so much with the Pokemon games. But as you can see from the other games that I've already spoken about, people are actively doing this on other games as well. And I will talk more about other games other than Pokemon for the Game Boy Advance. There is a whole library of stuff that is out there that if you just want to try something new but prefer playing the older graphics, or just want to be a little bit more nostalgic and play some of your older games with a little bit of twist, this is a good way to go, in my personal opinion. So, all right, so let's just show how this game looks, and let's get into it. All right, so lastly, we're gonna do the Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 2 Part 3. So let's just check it out. Let's turn on the original on the Boxy Pixel, and let's do the hack here. Okay, let's see. Obviously 2022. So this is gonna be in black and white, like I've mentioned before, unless you change the color palettes. Let's see. Now this adds a whole bunch of games, a whole bunch of levels. Now I don't know if I'm automatically gonna see that difference, which might be the hard thing to verify. In order for me to verify that you do get it, I might have to go further in. Let's see. Looks about the same. Can you choose a stage? See how it looks. Okay, well the first stage is different automatically. You can tell. Yeah, they changed it around. And let's also change the color palettes too. That way you can see how it looks differently too. So let's do color palettes. Looks more like a mint green, I would say. Hey, somebody must have really liked this game just to redo it again. To add a whole bunch of 20-something levels is a lot of levels. Yeah, they did a lot of work. It's a cool little game, especially if you like these kind of games. Definitely kill a lot of time playing these games, let's say that. Looks a lot like some of the other Game Boy Color games I've seen. Oh, hammer. So they definitely changed it around. You can tell the difference. Here's the original. You can tell right away. Even the music's different. Yeah, even the music's different. At least for the first level it is. Hey, so maybe if you're a fan of the original and you want to pick it up and just see what's new and what you can do that's different, this might be for you, might be up your alley. So give it a shot. And shout out to the creator. Just for taking the time to redo the levels. That's definitely a project right there. Well, alright everyone. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe. You guys are awesome. And I'll see you in the next time.